Welcome back for the second episode of Twitch Tips Done Quick. I am Travis, also known as All Fun and Games, and I'm here to kind of go into another little step forward as we kind of just talked about the beginning of getting yourself through the door onto Twitch. Now, if you watched the previous video and you're like, hey, I am ready to go, let's do it. What's the next step? Well, the next step is how to stream. For example, what do you use? How do I get my stream out there so people can look at my face and look at everything I have? Now, there's a few programs that you can use. The most common ones are OBS. There's also Streamlabs OBS. There's a few other programs, but those are the two main ones. I personally use OBS. The difference between the two, you can kind of look at them. I will post some descriptions exactly where to get them from with links. But I use OBS because it's more hardware related. And then the Streamlabs has their software kind of side of things. And I'll explain the difference between hardware and software in the future, but right now those are the main two. Of course, Twitch Studio has just announced that they are, got a bunch of new features, so you can actually stream right from Twitch as well too. But most people use OBS and or Streamlabs, and as far as my understanding, OBS is actually the more popular one. But of course, it's really depending on what you want to use. So those are the few programs that you want to use. There's multiple, ways of installing it and making it simple and easy. And nowadays with OBS and Streamlabs, it's basically like install, quick, easy guide, and the actual program does it all for you as long as you have your Twitch account set up. So it's really easy to link it up. Do you have a computer? Do you have a laptop? Are you going to be streaming from a console? These are things you got to ask yourself is, how or what am I going to be using to stream from? People nowadays sometimes do stream from consoles. It's not necessarily recommended because your OBS or whatever I guess you don't actually use OBS, sorry, but you can using the built-in streaming from PlayStation or from Xbox, it's not as versatile as using like OBS or Streamlabs because you can't really customize too much stuff. So ideally, streaming from a PC is the best option, but if you have a laptop, you can always try from that as well too. So definitely make sure that you have something that has a decent amount of power and kind of getting yourself through there. So that there's a few things, obviously, that, these are the main things that you need to get started. And then after this, I will explain what you need to have at that point. So basically what your next step is. Right now, I just want to kind of tell you the things that you need in order to stream. That way you're not forgetting anything. Internet speeds. You're going to want to make sure that you have a fairly decent internet speed. Something with at least minimum of 5 to 10 megs upload is a really good consistent speed to have. So I really recommend that you try to do a speed test. You can do speedtest.net. It's the easiest website to go to test your internet and make sure that you're getting 5 to 10 megs upload minimum. If you're getting any less than that, in the next few videos, I will talk about bit rates and how that's being used in OBS and how to make your stream not so laggy. But that is definitely something that you're going to want to look into. Download speed obviously comes into a factor a little bit, but not so much. Download speed, as long as you're maintaining like a decent 5 to 10 megs download, you're okay. But it's really the upload that matters. So ignore download altogether and focus heavily on upload, because that is your big factor for people being able to see you go live. And now we go back to the main thing, which is the setup. Once again, what are you going to be using? Are you going to be using a webcam? Are you going to be using a mouse and keyboard, a controller? You're going to need all those things in order to play the games that you're playing and have people see you. If you don't want anybody to see you, obviously you can ignore the webcam at first. These are all the things that you're going to need. So keep in mind, we're going to talk about this stuff in more in depth in the upcoming videos, but how to stream, you're going to need to make sure that you have the program available. You're going to need to make sure that you have the parts that you're going to need, the PC, the laptop, the console, the good internet speed, and then you're going to need to make sure that you have a webcam or a microphone or at least something where people can communicate to you with. You definitely do not want to go live where you're only typing and responding to chat. That is not going to get you an interactive way. I mean, people do that, but it's not an interactive way unless you're just streaming for the heck of it and just for fun. If you want to make sure you at least, if you don't have a webcam, you have a way of communicating with chat, and that's why you want to make sure you have at least an okay-ish microphone. It doesn't need to be the best, but you definitely want to avoid something kind of low end, and you want to have something that has like a clear voice that can come across. Test it on Discord before you go live, but we'll talk about all that and my recommendations on microphones to get some that are a little bit less budget and some that are a little bit more. But those are the things that you need to at least get started on streaming. So in the next video, when I do my next tips and tricks, we're going to kind of dive a little bit more into OBS, and then as things go on, I'll kind of show a few options that I recommend for PC specs and a few things like that as well too. So I will see you guys in the next video.